Cath. Welcome to my channel made by Cath Craft. Thank you so much for joining me today for my latest video. In today's video, I thought it would be fun to share with you my entire fabric stash. So I've got it all sitting here next to me ready to share. These are all the pieces of fabric I have in my collection that are uncut and I haven't sewn with yet. And I thought it would be fun to share with you the type of fabric, and I've got a bit of a variety I think, and why I originally bought the fabric, what my original plans were, and if those plans have changed now. So like I said, I've got them all sitting here ready to share, and I'm looking forward to taking you through my fabric collection. But first, I thought I'd share with you what I'm wearing today, as usual. And today I've got a dress on. It's a jersey dress, and I made it using this pattern here. And it's a Kielo wrap dress by Named Clothing. It's a really nice jersey dress pattern. It's a bit different. It's a wrap dress, and you kind of sew it in this sort of flying squirrel style shape with ties, and then you use the ties to wrap it around your body. And it creates a really nice shape, and it's also got some back darts and bust darts too. So it does give a really nice shape, I think, this dress. And I've got the old style pattern, which just came with the simple dress with a sleeveless option. But the pattern has been updated now, and it's now available to make in a dress and a jumpsuit version, and the pattern has sleeves included too. And the sizing now is available in a UK 4 to a 28. So I made my version using the old pattern, but I got the free download of a sleeve add-on that I used. I'm not sure if that free sleeve download is still available. If it is, I will link it below if I can find it. So I used that to add on sleeves and make mine into a long sleeve Kielo wrap dress. And I made mine in a plain black jersey fabric. This is an organic cotton jersey from Minerva. It's really nice actually because it's not too thick, so it kind of drapes around really nicely, and I'll link it below. It's just quite a nice relaxed casual dress to wear, but I think because it's got a tie, it makes it a bit different, a bit special. I'll put up a picture of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like. It's just really nice and comfy to wear, and I went for a sort of just around the knee length version, which I wasn't really sure about, but actually I'm really enjoying that length. I usually go a bit shorter, but I do really like it actually. And in terms of sizing, I made the size 6. That is for a bust 31.5, waist 25.25, and hips 34.5. And my measurements are slightly larger than that. But I find because this pattern's got quite a lot of negative ease built in, that gives quite a fitted look that I quite like. The only other adjustment I made is I added a neckband onto my version because I'd wanted it to look fairly relaxed and casual, and I thought a neckband would work well with that. I have the old pattern, which doesn't include a neckband pattern piece, so I just drafted my own one. But the new pattern does have a neckband pattern piece, which I think works really well on this dress. So that's what I'm wearing today, the Kielo wrap dress. It's really comfy to wear, and it's quite nice and cosy in this long sleeve version too. But now, let me start sharing with you my fabric stash. So my first fabric I've got to share with you is the one that I've had in my fabric stash the longest, I think. So I must have had it for a couple of years already, and it's a stretch cotton, and I have never actually sewn with a stretch cotton. This is the only one I've got in my stash, and I haven't sewn with it yet for a couple of reasons, and I'll share them in a moment. But I'll show you the fabric first. It's this beautiful stretch cotton, really nice quality, and this really lovely large scale floral print with really pretty colours on, because it's a blue base, and I do like a blue, and I think it's one of my colours. It's got these really lovely sort of orangey coral style flowers, and light blue flowers and white flowers too. It's a really beautiful fabric, and I got this a couple of years ago when I was out shopping with my mum, and we went into John Lewis into their haberdashery department and had some fabrics on sale, and this was one of the fabrics on sale, and it was at really good value. I can't remember how much it was, but it was, I think it might have been less than £5 a metre, and it's such nice quality fabric. So I think I got about 2.5 metres of it, maybe 3 metres, I'm not sure. I got a decent amount. And I would really love at some point to turn this into a sort of formal dress for an occasion. So I kind of have in mind maybe a wedding for the summer, because I think it's such a summery fabric. But I haven't ever cut into it yet because obviously COVID's happened. I haven't had any weddings to go to. So yeah, I've just kind of held on to it, knowing that one day I would love to make a pretty dress in this fabric. And I have a few ideas for a dress, and they're all from the same company, and that is By Hand London. And I've never actually made a By Hand London pattern before, but I've always loved their dresses, and I guess I kind of associate them with sort of formal dresses, although I know they do some more casual patterns too, is what I associate them with, and I've always wanted to make one of their patterns, but since I've started sewing I've never really had an occasion to go to, so I thought I'd share with you some ideas of what I would like to make with this fabric when I do have that occasion to go to. And the first one is the By Hand London Anna dress, and I'll put a line drawing up so you can see. And I particularly like the bodice of this dress, sort of with the fitted sort of slash neck and the sort of little pleats under the bust. I think it's a really pretty bodice. I think if I was going to make the dress, I'd probably go for a shorter style skirt. I'm not sure I have enough fabric for the long version. I'm not sure that'll be me really either. I think I prefer a sort of knee-length style skirt. But I really love the bodice on this one, and I actually quite like the idea of pairing this bodice with the skirt from the By Hand London Flora, and I'll put that line drawing up next, which is a really pretty kind of fairly full skirt. Let me just, what's the details of it? It's kind of a dipped circle skirt, and I think it's really pretty. I also really love the By Hand London Flora bodice too. I like the kind of high square neckline and the straps. I think it's a really pretty, clean looking bodice. So those are a couple of options, either that lovely flora skirt with either of those top options, or if I didn't have enough fabric, some sort of pretty knee-length skirt. Then my final idea for this fabric is a slightly more fitted dress, and I think that would work well too because it's a stretch cotton, so it would still be quite comfortable in a fitted silhouette. And I really like the look of the By Hand London Georgia dress, and I'll put that silhouette up too. It's a fitted dress with sort of panels to give the shape, and it's got a really pretty, interesting sort of neck detail, I think, with those straps. So I really like that one too. So luckily I don't need to decide yet because I don't have any sort of sun weddings coming up quite now, but I'm sure I will at some point, and I really like the idea of turning this beautiful stretch cotton into one of those pretty dresses. Oh, and I thought I'd mention the sizing on those dresses as well, as I think that's always really useful information to have. The Flora and the Georgia dress, the last two dresses, both come in a size range of UK 6 to 20, so not the biggest size range. But the Anna dress does come in two size ranges. There's a UK 6 to 24, which are drafted for a B cup, and then a UK 16 to 34, which is drafted for a D cup. So really great size range on the Anna dress with the lovely fitted bodice with the pleats. So the second fabric I have in my fabric stash is a really lovely corduroy fabric, and I got this from Guthrie Ghani. Again, this is one I got quite a while ago, and here it is. It's a really lovely corduroy in this really gorgeous rich rust colour, and this is a Robert Kaufman corduroy, and although it's quite a fine needle cord fabric, it's got quite a lot of body and substance to it. It's not a sort of thin corduroy, it's really nice and substantial, and I just love this rust colour. And if you've seen any of my previous videos, you might recognise this fabric, as I've actually made a couple of garments in this fabric because I really like it. I've made a Jennifer Lauren handmade Pippi pinafore in this fabric, and I've also made a Nina Lee Camden skirt. But this actual fabric piece here is not left over from either of those makes. It's a totally new uncut piece of fabric, and there's a reason why I have more of this fabric. And that reason is, as I mentioned, I made the Nina Lee Camden skirt, which is this really lovely skirt pattern here. It's quite a fitted waist skirt with an A-line shape and these really pretty pockets. And I made a version in this fabric, loved it, worn it so much, but somehow in the course of wearing it I managed to get a little bit of bleach on the front, so it's got a little white mark on it. And when I got that bleach on the front, I was really upset when I noticed it. I was really disappointed, and it was one of those things where I thought, oh, I'm really going to notice that, it's really going to bother me. So I bought some more fabric, so I had a backup option to make another skirt if it really bothered me, and so I can make another one, and not wear the one that's got the bleach stain on. But actually, the bleach stain is quite small. I'll put a picture up so you can see the skirt actually. And that photo was taken with the bleach stain on. I don't think you can even see it. So I think I was fussing a little bit when that happened. And I've carried on wearing that skirt and it hasn't bothered me. So now I've still got this corduroy in my stash, 1.5 metres up I think, and I don't know what to do with it. But it's so lovely. I'm not sure I want to de-stash it because I really love the colour, I really love the quality of the corduroy, and I figure at some point in the future, if my Camden skirt wears out, or if a different skirt comes out in a different style I might like, I'm kind of holding on to it, thinking, yeah, there might be a place for this in my wardrobe again in some point in the future. And I even went as far as to get some lining fabric, so I've also got some uncut, kind of creamy coloured lining fabric that I got from Guthrie Ghani too, which is lovely and soft, and I think it goes well with the rust. So I have got all the stuff I need to make a fully lined skirt at some point in the future. So we'll see what happens to that one, but as I said, I'm not really wanting to de-stash it. I'm going to keep it because it's beautiful quality corduroy and I love the colour, and I'm sure at some point I might make something else with this. Can you have too many rust coloured corduroy items in your wardrobe? I don't think I can in mine. So the next fabric that I have in my fabric stash is another one that I've had for quite a while now, but with this one I have firm plans for it, and when I bought it I knew exactly what I wanted to make, and I still want to make that same garment. So that's good. So I just need to actually get around to making it. And this fabric is, funnily enough, another Robert Kaufman fabric. I really love Robert Kaufman fabrics. I think they're such nice quality. And this one is a cotton twill, and it's their Ventana cotton twill. And it's in this navy colour. You can see the kind of twill texture if I bring up close. It's a really nice, substantial cotton twill fabric. I got this from Sew Me Sunshine when they had a good discount code. I think it might have been after the Sewing Weekender, not this year's Sewing Weekender, but the year before. They had a 15% off discount code, and I thought I'd been wanting to get this fabric for a while, so I thought that was a good time to get it. And the pattern I want to make with this fabric is, I've got the pattern already, is this one here. It is the Kelly Anorak by Closet Core Patterns. And it's a really nice classic anorak pattern. I'll show you the line drawings. Yeah, it's a classic anorak pattern with two different versions. You can make it with a hood or a collar. You can make it in a kind of straight shape or the drawstring waist, and it's got these cool sort of, I think they're called gusseted flap pockets. So I think it'll be a really nice one to learn some new skills on too. And there's also a lining add-on, so you can buy a lining expansion pack if you want to make it lined. And I'm not really sure with my version yet. I think I want to make this version here with a hood and the drawstring waist. But one of the reasons I haven't got started is because I haven't really been able to make my mind up with what I want. I love the idea of making it in this fabric, but I'm not sure if I want to line it, and if I want to line it, whether I want to make it really cosy with a thick lining, or whether to go for a lighter weight sort of lining. So I just haven't really decided. In terms of sizing, the pattern goes from size 0 to size 20. And unfortunately, they don't have a larger size range for this pattern. Closet Core do have a lot of patterns in a larger size range, but not this one. But I haven't really got started thinking about what size I should make, or tracing out the pattern piece or anything. I think there are so many decisions to make. I need to really sit down, have a proper think, and think what I want. But I really love the navy blue fabric, and I don't think this jacket will go out of style anytime soon because it's such a classic jacket. But I do need to get started making it. And I think once I do get started, I think I'll really enjoy the process, and it'll be quite a slow and satisfying sew. I think I've even got some lining upstairs, not lining, I think I've even got some calico upstairs, so I can make a kind of toile of it, because I'd like to make sure when I cut into this fabric that I do get the fit just right in terms of the sort of arm length and bodice length and that sort of thing. So it's really one I need a bit of time to sit down and have a proper think about. But I love this cotton twill fabric, and it definitely will one day become the Kelly Anorak. So the next fabric I've got in my stash is a bit of a fun one, and I got it from Sister Mintaka, I think when I was making an order for another fabric, and I thought this looked really cute, so I added it into my basket too. And it's a cotton poplin fabric in pink with all these cute spots on. I think it was called Pink Fizz Cotton Poplin, and I just thought it was a really fun, pretty fabric. And this is a Ruby Star Society cotton poplin. You can see from the cute selvage here. So I was quite keen to give one of these a try. I've seen some lovely garments being made using Ruby Star Society cotton poplins. They are such fun fabrics. And actually the fabric is really lovely. It's a really lovely soft cotton poplin. And I think it'll be really nice to wear, really comfy and lovely to wear once it's been turned into a garment. And I got 1 metre of this fabric because I was planning to make this pattern here, which is the Jamie Pyjama Bottoms pattern by Tilly and the Buttons. And there's a long pyjama bottoms pattern and a shorts version, and I was thinking this fabric would be really cute as a pair of pyjama shorts. This is a really nice pattern, the Jamie pyjamas. It's got a really inclusive size range. I've got the paper pattern which goes from UK 4 to UK 24, but there's also a PDF version that goes from UK 16 to 34. And it's just quite a nice, comfortable fitting pair of pyjama bottoms. I like where the waist sits. I've got a, I think it's a Simplicity pattern, it's a pyjama bottom pattern too, but I find the waist comes a bit too high on me. It's not that comfortable, but I find these pyjama bottoms really comfortable on me. So I think it'll be really nice to sew this fabric into a pair of cute pyjama bottoms, but I'll probably leave it until next year because the weather's so cold now. I'm definitely in pyjama trousers and cosy tops, and this will be very much more of a summery make. But yeah, I think it's quite a fun, cute cotton poplin and really lovely and soft too. So the next piece of fabric I've got in my stash is this cotton jersey here, and it's quite pretty royal blue colour. And I've got 1 metre of this fabric, again similar to the cotton poplin fabric, and it's another fabric I had earmarked for a piece of sleepwear. It's quite a nice lightweight jersey, so I thought it'd be perfect for making into a sleep vest top. And I had a couple of patterns I was thinking of, either this Kielo tank by Ali Olsen, which is quite a nice sort of simple vest top pattern with a slight racer back, and I've made that one before. Or another pattern I've made before is the Largo tank by Itch to Stitch, which is a free pattern you can download. It's quite similar to this pattern, but maybe slightly looser fit, so maybe better for a night top. So that's what I'm planning to make with this fabric. But again, the summer kind of flew by. It wasn't even really that hot, so I never got around to making it. So I think I'll probably make that when it gets towards next summer. But yeah, it's just sitting in my stash for now. So I've got 2 more fabrics left to share with you that are in my fabric stash. They're actually, I guess, kind of sets of fabric, I might describe them as. And they're both more recent purchases that I'm hoping to turn into garments sooner rather than later. And one of them I've got definite firm plans for what I want to make. And for the other, I've got an idea of what garment I'd like to make, but I just need to decide on the pattern, but I think I'm nearly there. And that is the first one I'll show you. And it's this really gorgeous fleece back sweatshirting fabric by Atelier Brunette. And I've got the matching ribbing too. I got these from Minerva in the indigo night colourway. It's a really sort of deep, dark, sort of navy blue colour. There's also a cream colourway, which is really pretty too. But this, this indigo night colour really appealed to me. I really love this colour. It's a really gorgeous, soft, snuggly sweatshirting fabric. And I would like to turn this into a really snuggly sweatshirt. And I want to get it sewn up soon so I can enjoy it now the weather has gone cold. But I've been umming and ahhing about which sweatshirt pattern to choose. But I think I'm swaying towards this pattern here, which is the Jarrah sweatshirt pattern by Megan Nielsen. And I think this might be my favourite sweatshirt pattern. It's a really lovely sort of relaxed fit, drop shoulder sweatshirt pattern. And there are loads of different variations you can make too. There's a kind of classic version with sort of cuffs on the sleeves and the bottom hemband and a crew neck. There's also a sort of slit cuff option and a sort of dipped hem option. And there's a tie option and also a funnel neck too. It's a really versatile pattern. It's got a really good size range too. I've got the paper pattern, which goes from size 0 to 20. There's also a Megan Nielsen curve range, which is for size 14 to 30. So yeah, really inclusive size range and a really lovely relaxed sweatshirt pattern. And I'm quite tempted to make this version here, just a very simple version of a kind of standard sweatshirt, so I can really let this fabric sort of speak for itself. And hopefully it'll be one I can wear for years to come. So I just need to make a final decision, but I really would like to get that fabric sewn up quickly. I don't want it staying in my stash for too long. The final fabric I've got to share with you is one that actually just arrived this week. So it's a very new addition to my stash, and I'm hoping I'll turn this one into a garment quite soon, so it won't be hanging around in my stash for too long. And the garment I'd like to make using this fabric is this pattern here, which is the Hovia Coat by Megan Nielsen Patterns. It's one of Megan Nielsen's most recent pattern releases, and it's a really lovely sort of relaxed fit coat and jacket with a drop shoulder. And it's got loads of different variations, as often Megan Nielsen patterns have. You can make it in a cropped length or middle length or a longer length. And then you can make it finish with this bias binding detail around the edge or with a sort of collar band. And it's got these cool angled pockets too, that'll be quite handy. And you can make it using pre-quilted fabric or you can quilt fabric for this coat. And there's also an option to add a lining too. And I really want to make this version here, this sort of cropped fit version with the collar band. And the fabric that arrived this week, I'm really excited about turning into the Hovia jacket, is this here. It is a cotton jacquard fabric from Merchant & Mills. And funnily enough, the model that's wearing this version, this is also a cotton jacquard from Merchant & Mills that's been used for this sample. So it's obviously a good choice for this pattern. And I've seen a couple of other people having made this pattern in a jacquard from Merchant & Mills, and it does look really lovely. But this is their Harvest Pink colourway of their sort of square print jacquard, and this was quite hard to get hold of. My husband managed to find it somewhere after I spotted it and really liked the look of this fabric, so I was very grateful to him for finding enough to make this pattern. But what do Merchant & Mills say about it? It's a pre-washed fabric, which is pretty cool. It is a layered cotton that has a jacquard weave to give it a quilted look and feel, and the reverse is sort of gauzy cotton. There's no batting in the middle, it's just threads that kind of make up the sort of quilted feel of it. So I'm really looking forward to turning this into the Hovia coat pattern, and I'd like to make a lined version. And I've got the lining, well, I've actually got a little small scrap of the lining because I ordered 3 different options for a lining from Minerva to see which one I thought would go best with this fabric. And I've decided they're all Liberty fabrics, all really pretty Liberty floral fabrics, so I thought that would go really well and make a really pretty sort of springtime jacket. And I've decided to go for this one here. I think it's called Annabella. It's a Liberty Cotton Tana Lawn, and I've ordered it, but it's in the post hopefully, the actual full piece. But I think that will go really well with this sort of pink, because the sort of pinks and the flowers sort of pick up this pink here. So I'm planning to make the Hovia coat in this lovely pink jacquard, Harvest Pink jacquard fabric with a Liberty lining in this beautiful floral print. I'm hoping it'll be a jacket I'll wear for years to come, so I want to take my time over this one and treat it as a really slow sew. I think what I'll do is use some calico to make up a wearable toile first, so I can check the sort of sleeve length and the general fit before I start cutting into this lovely fabric. But that one hopefully will be one I will be starting on fairly soon. So that is all of the pieces of fabric that I have got in my stash, all of the pieces that are uncut and that I haven't sewn with yet. As you can see, it's quite a small stash. I don't like to have too many items in my stash because I find it a little bit overwhelming. And I'm looking forward to hopefully cutting into a couple of those pieces soon. So the stash will be getting a bit smaller, although there may be new purchases at some point too. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing a little bit about the fabrics I've got in my stash and what my plans are for them. If you have enjoyed hearing about them, I would love it if you give this video a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you would consider subscribing to my channel so you can hear more about my sort of journey to making a handmade wardrobe. And if you press the bell notification too, that means you'll get notified when my future videos come out. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day and I will see you again soon. Bye!